What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Morning. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. This is a 747 that I didn't want to miss. Still have to put the phone on my camera, so I'm not able to see the live chat yet. This is Cathay Pacific Cargo landing. Also still need to straighten the tripod head. The audio, I tested, it was good, so fingers crossed this one will get loud. Cathay Pacific Cargo, not sure where it's arriving from Paris or further away. Either reverse landing, either way. Right, as I was mentioning in the chat already, I'm still in the process of setting up. It was a bit late, almost there. The sound was good, I think, so while we're watching the Cathay Pacific vacating the runway, I am continuing the setup. Got the phone attached to the tripod, power on. Let's see, enable. First, the chat URL. Pasting it in the browser, top chat to live chat. Alright, flight radar. With filter for AMS inbound. So that's one queen in the pocket, and there were a few more underway, as was the A340 600. So full quad squad, with the exception of Emirates, who are still not flying to Schiphol yet. Don't know yet when that's going to start again, but we'll see. Right, that's the phone attached and the apps running in split screen. Let me level the tripod head a little bit better. Right, that's also good. I think we're good. EasyJet just now landed here. We're at the Polderbaan, where the sun is shining and wind is blowing, and that reminds me that I should rename the stream title to Windy Arrivals, because that is what it will get. Wind is slowly picking up and is expected to increase until in the afternoon. The TAF yesterday was already mentioning 22 knots of wind with gusts up to 32. Pretty windy, in other words. Not so much crosswindy arrivals, unfortunately. The wind is mostly from the south. Little bit of crosswind component, but it isn't very big. It's not southwesterly wind. It's south-southwest. Mostly south. I'm also refreshing the METAR after this landing. Let's have a look at it. This is KLM Flight 644 arriving from New York. Just fucking kidding. A very good morning to everybody who's joined. Marja, goedenavond. Wolfgang, good morning. Fern Sebastian, guten Morgen. Michael DCA also back in the chat. Good morning, mate. Mali, good morning. Pro Drifters, Davey, JZ Road, Vroom, Ramon, Steven, Ronald, good morning. Welcome to the show, lads. So, a quick look at flight radar will tell us, the the METAR will tell us we have only few clouds at 500 feet. It's 8 degrees Celsius, 15 knots of wind already, and it's mostly southerly wind. So for 18, right, that means that the airplanes have a little bit of crosswind. It's mostly headwind, so I'm not expecting overly crabbing airplanes today. Cathay was arriving from Paris, and here are more quad-engined airplanes coming this way. Cargolux, Atlas, Surinam, and more Cargolux. They'll arrive later in the morning. With a little bit of luck, we're all going to see them over here, but I've said that before recently, and well, you know, Schiphol, nothing is ever certain here. Next airplane to arrive over here, Finnair, arriving from bloody Helsinki in Finland, A321. With the wind blowing in my neck, I'm also going to put my winter hat over my AMS Live hat so that my neck is a little bit better covered without the need to put on the hoodie. Tomorrow there is rain expected in the early morning. The 24-hour extrapolation of the rain app, the weather app, indicates that there's an area of rain that's going to pass over the Netherlands late night, early morning. When I looked this morning, it was looking like the west of the Netherlands, where Schiphol is situated, should be clear between 9 and 10, so hopefully no issues with streaming tomorrow. Saturday and Sunday were abysmally foggy in the early morning. It did clear up, but that was well after noon. Didn't feel like going out so late. Was really hoping the weather would improve a little bit more consistently, but it turns out that Captain Jerry picked the best day to be visiting Schiphol last week. What a visit it was. I hope you guys also saw the stream and enjoyed his stories. It was wonderful to meet him and spend some time with him. If you missed out on it, then definitely have a look at the previous stream from last week Friday, featuring a special guest. Although I thought I saw in the list of members that apparently Jerome forgot to renew his membership at a certain point, because it now is looking like Rick Meester has overtaken him, as has Roelof. He's now the third longest member. He was the first. I think I saw that he renewed recently, so maybe the credit card expired or something, but in that slight moment where he wasn't a member, he was overtaken. He got overtaken by both Rick and Roelof, the R's. Don't tell him. Alright, EasyJet and Lufthansa up next. Just now we saw Air Dolomiti arriving from Frankfurt. The third airplane to land here, and I'm not sure, can we see it already? I think we should, we ought to. Ought to be Delta Airlines Flight 74, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, A330 Neo. In the meantime, a very good morning to all who joined later. Apple Flaps, Uffel 80, Alan, Mika, I am Yayodi, good morning. John Singleton, Hans Worst, Boreas, good morning lads, and welcome back to the show. Hope everybody is doing well. The sun is out. It's not very warm and it's reasonably windy. But hey, it's going to stay dry here. At least that's something. EasyJet, A319, returning from Gatwick. And I hear something overhead. Looking up, not able to see it right away. Standing here just north of the excrement bridge. Didn't fancy walking unnecessarily far thought this was far enough. A field with winter wheat, which is starting to get ever more green. It's looking grass-like when you're looking at it from a distance, but it's definitely wheat that they have sown over there. Should make for beautiful golden colored wheat in the summer. The scale of chimney smoke is indicating horizontality, indicative of a bit of wind. If you can see the water through the reeds, you can also see it's ripply. Next up, Lufti. And a Bombardier C-Series 300. That's that's our Baltic then, flying on behalf of Lufthansa. It's the flight from Munich, 2302. 1 hour 13 minutes flight time. It's the Yankee Lima Alpha Bravo Hotel. Was having a sneak peek in the live chat. Many more people are joining. Welcome one and all. So, big picture overview. Looking at the direction of the sun, you can already see low clouds. Things look like this to the east. Bit high clouds in the distance. Here in the immediate vicinity, it's more blue. Low clouds. The south looks like this. The wind should be more or less coming from where, to me, the excrement bridge gate is. Southwest and west. More cloudiness at sea, and that's also what they expected. More cloudiness drifting in, so the morning would begin with sunshine and it would start getting more cloudy as the day progressed. So savor the moment while we still have some sunshine. Jorik, goedemorgen. Greg Meister, good morning. Glenn, good morning. Joey, good morning. Morgen Martin. Nick, goedemorgen. Grover, goedemorgen. Knuffelshows, good morning. Delta Airlines Flight 74 having arrived from Atlanta, Georgia. Reversers still working. Hey Lucas, morgen. Chris Schneider, guten Morgen. Next up will be KLM Flight 1402 arriving from Paris, Charles de Gaulle, 737-800. And behind it is an A320 from Air Arabia Morocco, arriving from Tangier, which is in Morocco, the north of Africa. There's a third airplane turning in, that's an A320 Neo, so 3 narrow bodies with it's 3 different types, 3 different carriers. And a fourth fourth airplane is arriving, but that's not a narrow body, that's Turkish with a Dreamliner. KLM Flight 1402 arriving from Paris, and that is a 737-800. Hey, Melky also back in the chat. Morning, Melky. Good to see you, mate. No carrying cabin on this 737. It does have a different nose. It's had a nose job, quite clearly visible. Scar tissue hasn't healed properly yet. Hey Marijke, goedemorgen. And welcome to the show, one and all. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. If you are, don't forget to leave a like if you want to help this channel reach a wider audience in the future. The more the merrier. Air Arabia Morocco, flight 127, arriving from Tangier in Morocco. Up next, Morocco of course in the north of Africa. After that, an A320 Neo. And hey. Yo. Stealth ducks. 3 of them. They were here in the water right next to me. And then they took off, one at a time, for a lap of formation flying. What the fuck? Right, so Donald and Daisy were here, covertly, didn't know they were here. They kept quiet. They must have followed the workshop from Gary Grebe, how to sneak around, because that's what they did. In the meantime, Melky, what are you doing, mate? Melky Minty Stoddard just now gifted 5 memberships. That's 5 new members courtesy of Melky. A warm welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge to those 5 new members. Have fun with the custom emojis. Don't forget to say thank you to Melky. You can now use those custom emojis for the entire month. An entire month, I should say. Not the remainder of this month, but also the beginning of April. Have fun with them. Consider renewing the membership if you like it and it's expiring. Those sneaky quackers. Still here, eh? How on earth did you get here so quietly? Yeah, your homies have flown. They're gone, mate. Yeah, quack. Quack, quack. Quack, quack. Quack, quack. Quack, quack. I'm speaking duck to him. Quack. Here we go, back to focus set to infinity. This is the EasyJet preceding the Turkish Dreamliner, and after the Turkish Dreamliner we are going to get a KLM Dreamliner. That's a Neorio. Time for a double Dreamliner, Turkish Airlines, and KLM should be behind it. And behind that KLM should be a CRJ. I'm struggling to find that second Dreamliner. Clouds must be in the way over there. Not seeing anything visually, nor am I seeing it on the camera, on the footage. Hey, Jackie is also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Welcome back. Almelo, goedemorgen. Turkish Airlines flight 1951, having arrived from Istanbul in Turkey. Must have had tailwind. Hours 52 minutes this journey lasted until the touchdown here at Schiphol, and that is 8 minutes quicker than average. Nothing substantial. Hey, Marissa also in the chat. Wow. So many moderators turning up. Good morning to you all, and welcome to the show everybody else who isn't a moderator but who also joined to watch. You're watching Game is Live, my name is Boy, and if you only joined us just now, you missed the first 747 of the show already. It was the first airplane of the show. 3 more are underway, and the A340-600 from Surinam is too. This is KLM flight 741. It's a 787-10, it's arriving from Cartagena. That's in Colombia, and that's a country in Latin America right next to Ecuador. Flight time of this airplane, almost 9 hours, 8 hours 59 minutes. It's the Papa Hotel Bravo Kilo Charlie, BKC. That's a 6-year-old airplane. Its first flight was in October 2019. After that, SAS, and after that, an A350 from China Airlines, arriving from Taipei. Lovely. Finally, A350s. About damn time. For the green. Good morning Elwa. Good morning Pro Drifters. Leo, goedemorgen. Klussen en verhuizen. Busy, busy. Yo! What are you doing over here, my man? Donald Duck. Quacking about. The reeds in the foreground make the camera struggle to focus on the duck. CRJ up next. Michael hasn't been cited in the chat, has he? A350 number 2, CRJ number 1. Slightly crabbing airplanes. The wind is not very substantial, or at least I should say the crosswind component of the wind is not very substantial. It's mostly headwind, but because the wind continues to pick up in the upcoming hours, you'll probably see that some crabbing will take place. It's not completely headwind. As you can see, the airplanes are crabbing just slightly, but we've seen better. Still. Remco, goedemorgen. Jillard, goedemorgen man. Good to see you guys again. CRJ up next. SAS flight 1553. Returning from Stockholm. 1 hour 49 minutes this journey has lasted. Mitsubishi CRJ 900 long range, 19 years old, Irish registered, EIHSD. That's funny. The Papa Hotel HSD, Hotel Sierra Delta, is a KLM 737. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the first A350 of the show. Grumpy looking Chinese China Airlines arriving from Taipei. Flight 2073, 14 hours and 34 minutes underway, ladies and gentlemen. How on earth did this airplane fly? What route has it taken? I'm not able to see because when I click on the label, that's filling my my half phone screen of flight radar. 14 hours and 35 minutes. That's a long flight. This is the Bravo 18915, 8 years old already. The first flight was in December 2017. Wow, it's been such a long time since we last saw an A350 not being Delta or Finnair or World to Fly. A small sip of vodka to drink to that. In addition to some coffee. Klaus, goedemorgen. Leo, goedemorgen. Grumpy A350. I don't want to come to the Netherlands. I want to go back to China. Or Taiwan. In this case. Bird control doing a cameo appearance. In the background, the fire station, where I haven't seen any movement yet since I arrived here this morning. Arrived here shortly after 9. Haven't seen the firefighters yet, so I'm not sure if they're going to do their round or not, but if they are going to do a round around the Polderbaan today, I think they've yet to do it. Departures from runway 24 in the background, as you can see. And more wide bodies on arrival for Polderbaan. Being preceded by a light appetizer to cleanse our palate. A little narrow body from EasyJet, an A319, which is arriving from Milan. And after that, back to at least 2 wide bodies. It's a nice mix. 2 wide bodies after this. A 777-300 and an A330-300. Then an A320 Neo and then a Dreamliner from KLM, most likely. Lovely to see. Glide stop shot with wide bodies. A quick look on flight radar to show us where the next wide bodies are at, the next quad-engined airplanes. We have 2 approaching, being over Wales and southwest England. SLM, A340, 600, and Cargolux, the first of 3 remaining 747s in this show. There's another Atlas Air arriving from Miami, that's also underway, and in the vicinity of South France, and expected around 11:37. Cargolux arriving from Nairobi. Flock of birds. Right, well, stay clear of that triple unless you want to become minced meat. This is KLM flight 592, arriving from Johannesburg in South Africa. Nice wheelie. Looking really good. Idle reverse landing, as almost always is the case with KLM wide bodies, but that was to be expected. Paul also back in the chat, good morning. Welcome to the show, everybody else. Let's turn around. We have more wide bodies and narrow bodies coming this way. If you look on Flight Radar, you can see it's getting busy. Our next arrival shall be Delta Airlines Flight 236. Coming in from Tampa in Florida, A330-300. 8 hours, 4 minutes on the way. The November 804 November Whiskey. 22 years old, first flight September 2003. Yeah, it's hard to see the further up ahead. It was open to the north when I arrived here and was walking up here, but you can definitely see that the cloudiness is taking over. That was expected. This is nothing that's unforeseen. Does make the glide slope visibility a little bit worse than it was initially. Okay, Malta will be next after this. You can guess only once where KM Malta will be arriving from. Now, the first airplane that at least is looking to need to do some corrections, some additional corrections before the touchdown. Wind gradually picking up. When we started the stream, it was blowing with 15 knots of wind. That's undoubtedly going to increase a bit further in the upcoming hours. Hey Tina, goedemorgen. Marianne, goedemorgen. Jurk, goedemorgen, good morning. Happy Thursday, mate. Trevor Dial, good evening, mate. Welcome back. For those of you joining us only just now, you might have missed, you probably will have missed the first 747 of the show. There are 3 more underway, as is an A340-600 from Surinam. So with the exception of the A380, the entire quad squad is still inbound. One bonus queen that arrived from Paris landed. It was the very first airplane of the show. Began a minute or so earlier, perhaps, or no, later, but was still in time. So if you missed that one, it's a matter of going back to the first 5 minutes of the show and you'll be able to see it. Peter, goedemorgen. And welcome to the show, everybody else. Hope you guys are having fun. I know I am. If you are enjoying the show, don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already, if you want to help this channel reach a wider audience and grow in the future. KM Malta is next, and after that it's back to a couple of wide bodies, 2 Dreamliners, one from KLM, one from TUI, one from Panama City and the other from Curaçao. You may guess which one will be arriving from which. Hey Karst, morgen. Pete, morning. Welcome to the show, everybody. Hope you guys were all able to see the stream of last week Friday, the previous stream. Captain Jerry Donnelly visiting from Portland, Oregon, doing a European tour, beginning in the Netherlands. And before continuing on his way, visiting me at the Polderbaan on Friday. It was the best weather we've had in last weekend. He chose the best day in hindsight to be visiting. Awesome stories he was able to tell and share with us. If you missed it, definitely watch that stream. Hey! Indigos are in the way today. Oh, underway. Nice. Good. been a while since we last saw them in action, flying, not being parked somewhere. Meep meep. It's my favorite vehicle. This is, ladies and gentlemen, what we in the Netherlands call a fat bike. Electrically motorized, going much faster than the allowed speed, and often driven by young people terrorizing pedestrians with them. Often in duos. There's almost always somebody sitting in the back, and almost always are the cyclists vaping. This is KLM flight 758 arriving from Panama City. 78710, 9 hours 23 minutes underway. The BKL, which is only 3 years old. First flight was in June 2022. Are those reversers? For a brief moment I thought they were using their reversers, but I think these were just either reversers, sounding maybe a little bit different. Yeah, absolutely, Mario. We were lucky with the weather. Reason for me not streaming on Saturday and Sunday was because of fogginess in the morning hours. That was really persistent and was, as is almost always the case due to the vicinity of the Gulf of Yorkshire, it was particularly persistent in the west. Jeez Louise, I think I've still not managed to stream 15 or 16 times, which in a normal week with good, well, normal month with good weather, I should be able to do in a month, 4 consecutive weeks of streaming from Thursday through Sunday. Mid-March, still haven't reached that number. It's terrible. It's the worst year thus far in the history of AMS Live with respect to the number of streams being produced. Hope the quality is still okay for you guys, so that at least I can say it's about quality and not quantity. Nah, I really wish it was better weather. Still, I'll keep saying it. So jealous of people who have, for instance, LAX or other more dry locations, more busy locations too, as their place, as their base. This is Tui, arriving from Panama City. No, Curaçao. Flight 393. It's a nice mix thus far of wide bodies and narrow bodies, with a narrow body to cleanse the palate, and you can already see the next wide body behind it. The narrow body is a 73 from KLM, arriving from Zurich, flight 1918. Behind it, a triple 300, arriving from Cape Town. That is in South Africa. So slowly but surely, the clouds are taking over. Means that overhead contrail visibility is deteriorating rapidly. There's a bit of openness still to the west, but looking lower towards the horizon. West to north already covered. A cloud street for the bingo card. Looking to the east, southeast, and south to southwest. So behind me it's still reasonably open. Left of me it is already getting grey. There's a cloud street just right of me. And indeed drop, more wind expected. The flight from Zurich comes equipped with a carrying cabin in the back. And Wolfgang says that he learned yesterday that AMS has a total route net of 567,800 miles or 900, almost 1 million kilometers. Well, thank you so much for sharing that tidbit of information. I didn't know. Is that just, yeah, that's probably the aggregated total of all the carriers that are flying to and from Schiphol, right? So all the Chinese, all the cargos, all the American carriers, all the Europeans. That's quite a few times that you can go around the world with that. And Marissa says the China Airlines A340 should arrive tomorrow and Sunday around the same time as today. That's good news, Marissa. Thank you so much for letting us know. I've yet to decide. I also haven't looked at the wind yet. Been to the Polderbaan now quite a few times in a row already, doing arrivals. I was hoping to have been able to go to the Cargolux in the weekend on Saturday and Sunday last week, because the wind had changed. Later on Friday, I saw that they already switched runway use compared to what it was when I was there with Jerome and with Sander. It changed, but I think the wind is going to be from the west-southwest in the upcoming days, but I haven't checked yet. That means that it's going to be arrivals at the Cargolux, at the Polderbaan all throughout, and departures from the Cargolux. I'll definitely look to switch it up. Probably in the weekend, go to the Cargolux once or twice, weather permitting. Weather permitting. Let's hope nobody does a rain dance for the Netherlands. Now, in the meantime, what are you doing, Jörg? Jörg, aka JD aus Düsseldorf. He just now went ahead and gifted 5 memberships. Really, you didn't have to do that, mate. Thank you so much for your generosity. That's the so many 5 memberships gifted by Jörg. That's, I've lost track of how many it have been. I'm pretty sure that most regular viewers who haven't been a member themselves yet at some point must have received at least 1 gifted membership from Jörg. At least 5 more have received gifted memberships just now. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Don't forget to say thank you to Jörg if you are one of the 5 lucky ones to have received a gifted membership. Have fun with the custom emojis. They are now at your disposal for a month. Spam us with those custom emojis. Get creative with them. Have fun with them. Jörg, mate, thank you so much. You really didn't have to do it. Thank you so much. And a warm welcome once again to 5 new members courtesy of Jörg, aka JD. Meanwhile, good morning to everybody else who has joined. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're here at a windy Polderbaan. The wind is only increasing more as the day progresses. Wind is blowing mostly from the south. Little bit of it's south-southwest, so there is a little bit of crosswind component in the wind. It's mostly headwind. I'm not expecting any sudden go-arounds or extreme crabbing. Airplanes that are arriving are crabbing just a little bit, but it's mostly headwind. The wind will increase further. 1747 already landed. It was the very first airplane of today's show, so if you missed that, go back to the first 5 minutes to see it. There are 3 more underway, and the Surinam A340 is also underway. I am thinking that in an hour or so from now, the first of those widebodies should probably arrive. No, probably even earlier, because last time we checked, there was the A340 flying over southwest England, and above it, just above Wales, there was the first of the 3 747s. I have to catch up and do something in advance, says Jörg. Well, mate, when are you going to Thailand? Because that's also one of these days, isn't it? Because you already drove your wife to Frankfurt recently. I read in the chat, and you were going to follow her pretty soon thereafter. That's probably going to be in one of these days already. Alessia, goedemorgen. Henk, goedemorgen. Hey, Jay Remy is also back. Welcome, sir. Welcome back. Good to have you again. Hope everybody has been doing well. BA City Flyer arrived from London City. That's an Embraer 190. What up, FO? Next Sunday. So not this Sunday, but the one after that, right? How long will you be going to Thailand, Jörg? With relatives over there, I imagine probably a couple of weeks at least. Particularly now that you are a retiree. At least you can take all the time you want. And thank you here for the green, who is informing us that the Cargolux will be landing in 27 minutes. So that's nice. Not too long. Joep, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, one and all. Right, it's Narrowbody's o'clock for the time being. And this is our Oink Oink Pegasus. Arriving from Istanbul, Turkey. A321neo. 3 hours and 13 minutes on the way. It's interesting that this one has taken 3 hours and 13 minutes because Turkish flight 1951 also arriving here from Istanbul and landing here, well, less than an hour ago. It took 2 hours and 52 minutes to get here. So that's half an hour faster. Six weeks. That's nice, Jörg. That's at least long enough to get used to the time zone, get rid of the jet lag, and also spend some time without being jet lagged before going back and incur another jet lag. Indeed, Wolfgang, we need to be lucky for Jörg to be coming back again at all. Oh man, yeah. 6 weeks. Lovely, man. I'll be back. That's Wolfgang's sentence. If he says it in English, it really sounds like Arnold. This is Croatia Airlines flight 450 arriving from Zagreb, which of course is in Croatia. Croatia! 1 hour 48 minutes on the way. Now landing 28-year-old vehicle. First flight was in January 1998. No reverse landing. No reverse landing. The reverse slots stay shut. That's not even an idle reverse landing, it's a zero reverse landing. Let's see if we can find a windsock and see how much Viagra there is in the air. There we go. The windsock is getting pretty excited. Good morning, Sean. Good morning, Norman. Hans, goedemorgen. And Bobbers is also back in the chat and renewing his membership. Mate, welcome back. Thank you for your vote of confidence. Good morning, Bobbers, and welcome back to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Obviously, we kept your seat warm for you. It's good to have you back. Thanks for the vote of confidence and welcome back, mate. And welcome back in general to the live stream and the chat. Tarom, arriving from Bucharest, flight 361, 737-800. No carrying cabin, also no A318. Wah, wah, wah. Bring them back. We need a little bit of more, we need more variation. Now, what's this? That's a wide body on the outbound. Let's see, that is Air China Cargo with a Cargo A330. Not fantastically ideally placed to follow that stably, but hey, lights on airplane number 2 means we have a 2 airplane glide slope shot. That's nice. Still narrow bodies for the time being, with KLM flight 1930 being the next airplane to land here, arriving from Geneva. That's a 737-800. A320neo from EasyJet, arriving from Prague in the Czech Republic behind it, and another KLM behind it. That will be an E2 Embraer, arriving from London Heathrow. Hey David Wolf, morning mate. Lance, morning mate. Welcome back, lads. Skull Collector, good morning. And thank you, Skull Collector. The 747, the next 747 will be here in around 20 minutes from now. And a few minutes later, the A340-600. If you joined us only just now, you'll probably have missed the first 747 of the show, which landed in the first few minutes. Now back to the beginning of the show, and the very first airplane to land here will be the first 747 of the show, Cathay Cargo, arriving from Paris. 3 more are underway, as is the A340-600. The only quad squad member missing is the A380. If that would also have landed here today, it would have been a complete quad squad arrival in the show. All the quad engined airplanes frequenting Schiphol Airport. For those of you joining later and want to see, quick look on Flight Radar to see where the airplanes of interest are at. You can see the first 747 is now traversing the Gulf of Yorkshire, and over London we have the A340. The 747 is expected around 11:05, and the same ETA is now awarded to the A340. Just west of Ireland we have another 747 arriving from Miami, Florida. ETA 11:44 and 11:42 is the ETA of Cargolux arriving from Nairobi. So we have 2 pairs of quad-engined airplanes coming this way. That's nice. So we'll have 2 opportunities, at least the way things look right now, to have back-to-back quad-engined airplanes on the glide slope. That's exciting. That's not something that happens every day. We still have to see whether or not it's going to go down here, because those ETAs will vary undoubtedly a bit more. As time progresses, the ETAs also change. And you often see that when it looks like they might be landing here simultaneously, at some point, a half an hour later, it's changed completely. So fingers crossed, but it's looking positively in that respect. In the meantime, a warm welcome to Nick North, who just became our latest Aurora Sky Lounge member. Mate, thank you so much for your vote of confidence, and welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Congratulations. Many members have gone before you, and will happily show you the way if you need to know where stuff is in the lounge. You now have access to our 34 custom emojis. Make sure to have fun with them. You can use them without limits. Feel free to use them. Also, if you think that it might be inappropriate, that's usually when they're best and funniest to use, so make sure that you do. Either way, a warm welcome to Nick North, our latest Aurora Sky Lounge member. Congratulations and thank you, mate. Richard Vos, goedemorgen kerel. Reiniers, goedemorgen, good morning. Welcome to the show. All others who have joined. So, 3 747s underway still, 1 A340 and 1 747 already landed here. E2 Embraer 195. And the pilots both very much focused on the Polderbaan. This airplane was arriving from London, and the second airplane now on the glide slope is coming from the same airport, London Heathrow, BA A319, and the next airplane to land here is arriving from Paris. That's KLM flight 1404 arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle, A321neo. In the meantime, bottoms up. First a nice sip of coffee, and then it's the AMS vodka. Indeed, Dinesh, SLM is also underway. Should be landing here later in the morning, so if you don't have to be anywhere, stick around. Plenty more coming, and just like Pokemon, we are going to try to catch them all. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. If you are, don't forget to leave a like if you want to help this channel grow. It will help immensely. This is an A321neo arriving from Paris. And, oh. Interesting, there's no picture of it yet. On Flight Radar, it is showing a very standard A321neo picture from Airbus. Is this such a new airplane? This is a reasonably new airplane. It's the Papa Hotel Alpha X-Ray November, and it began flying in February this year, so that explains why on Flight Radar there's no picture of it yet. John Dutch Canadian also back in the chat. Good morning, mate, and welcome back. 2 airplanes on the glide slope. BA up next, flight 432. That's a countdown flight number arriving from London Heathrow. London, you might be wondering?
You know, fish, chips, cup of tea, bad food, worse weather, Mary fucking Poppins, London.
That's right, London. It's an A319, flight time 42 minutes. That's nominal flight time, 40 to 45 minutes. That's usually the average for London-based airports, regardless of which one it is. It's almost always 40 to 45 minutes. The Golf Echo Uniform Papa Oscar Gupo, 25 years old, first flight July 2000. Hey Bram, goedemorgen. Dennis, goedemorgen. Miss Magic Memories, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, all others who may have joined in the meantime. London is a very popular origin for airplanes to be flying to Amsterdam from. Heathrow, this is one of them. Or was it 2 airplanes prior? The E2 Embraer, also from Heathrow. Next airplane arriving from London City. Heathrow and City, I think, are the destinations that we see airplanes from the most frequently. Scholar J, good morning. Hi CF, good morning. Or hi CF, or HAJ CF. You'll probably have seen already that the second airplane in the background is a widebody. That's Delta with an A330 arriving from Orlando, Florida. A330-300. I'm hearing stuff passing by overhead, but looking overhead, I am already seeing clouds. And no airplanes. I can hear it, yet not see it. Bram Lijntjes is celebrating 4 months of membership today. Congratulations and thank you, Bram, for your support, mate. Hope everything in the lounge is still to your liking. 4 months and counting. Keep up the good work, Bram says. I'll do my utmost best to do that, Bram. Thank you so much for your encouraging words and for your support in the lounge as a member. Lately, the most predominant bottleneck for me going out has been the weather. I really hope things will improve significantly going forward. Number of streams in this year to date have been abysmally low, and I hope that will improve soon. Hi Hossel, renewing his membership. Mate, thank you so much for your vote of confidence. Welcome back to the Aurora Sky Lounge. We kept your seat warm. It's good to have you back, mate. You'll find everything the way you left it. and we kept your seat warm. KLM City Hopper, flight 980 arrived from London City. And now it is time for Delta Airlines flight 90. Arrived from Orlando, Florida, A330-300. Will this one get loud? Will they use their reversers? Bigger chance with this airplane than with a KLM widebody. Fingers crossed. Hey, Servus Peppi Pittel, tuning in from Innsbruck. Grüße nach Innsbruck und herzlich willkommen. Wolfgang looked into it. 114 flights from London Heathrow to Amsterdam and back in the last 7 days. Now many for London City. That's usually around the same number. Hey, I hear something from behind.
I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter.
Look at what's coming. Piss poor timing though, with an A330 landing here as well. Bastards! Step on the brakes, will you? This is not good timing. They're not even making eye contact. They can see that the camera isn't pointing in their direction. Well, just goes to show that the firefighters will not sound their horn if they see that you're not pointing your camera in their direction. Opportunists. All right. Time for a JetBlue A321neo arriving from Boston, and after that an A350 from Corendon. Things start to look a little bit more grey and dim. It's not going to rain, but cloudiness was expected to drift in, and the sunshine would only be short-lived today. So it's completely what was expected for today, but no rain until I think tonight. Quick maths from Jackie, our moderator, who is celebrating 33 months of membership, and according to his calculation, I think, looking at the numbers, I think he's right. 36 minus 3 equals 3 months until orange. Mate, thank you so much for your long-standing support as a member, and also for everything you are doing as a moderator ever since you've become one. I hope that both are still to your liking. Congratulations, Jackie, on 33 months of membership. I hope that both the modding and the membership are still to your liking. If not, let me know what needs to be improved in your opinion, and I'll get on it and see what I can do. And indeed, 3 more months before you'll get a new badge. We'll start seeing new badges pretty soon in the next couple of weeks, because the longest standing members are going to change color pretty soon. So you'll now see a lot of blue. It will turn to a gradient. JetBlue having arrived from Boston, Massachusetts. A321neo in the wannabe ETA livery. And the second A350 of the show, ladies and gentlemen. What? 2 in 1 show. How long has that been ago since we last had that happen? Work to flight Corendon, flight 5990. It's an A350-900 arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao, 8 hours and 31 minutes underway. The ECNTB, 3-year-old airplane, first flight April 2022. Hey, and Bryn is tuning in again as well, tuning in from wet Wales. Welcome back, mate. James Clark tuning in from a very wet Glasgow. Yeah, I think you guys are already having the rain that is expected to pass over the Netherlands overnight. Here in the Netherlands, when I looked this morning, it should have passed over the Netherlands, or at least the west already, in the early morning hours. So between 9 and 10, It should get dry again here in the west. At least that's what things were looking like this morning. So I'm cautiously optimistic that I will be able to do a stream at the normal time tomorrow. Maybe a tad later, but I'll double check. But things look good from a are we able to stream or not perspective. JetBlue not using the reversers with the headwind. Probably not going to be necessary, but you never know. Rolling out as the narrowbodies are rolling in. It's back to the narrowbodies for the time being. Transavia arriving from Salzburg will be first. Next after that, Hans' favorite, Welling, with an A321neo arriving from Malaga. No, A320neo. I think I said 21, right? 20. Norwegian will be next after that, and will Norwegian feature somebody on the tail? No, it's the UNICEF special livery. London City, 75 flights a week. Oh right, it was less because of course it's not as busy on that route on weekend days compared with work days due to the commutes, the commuters, the people commuting. Transavia returning from the airport closest by to Wolfgang if he wants to fly Transavia. It's Salzburg. Hey, that's good news, Marissa. Both the 747 and the A340 have been assigned the Polderbaan. That's good to know. Was to be expected, but it's nice to get the confirmation. Thank you so much, Marissa, for keeping us informed.
I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter.
The fire starters are on their way back to the station. It's time for Vueling to be landing here. Vueling flight 8365. Malaga is the origin, Amsterdam the destination. A320neo, 2 hours 47 minutes on the way. ECNDB, non-directional beacon. 6 years old, first flight June 2019. Oh, Marissa notices that Indigo is in a holding pattern over Flevoland. Why would that be? Zooming out, zooming out. Well, it is still a bit busy. Maybe, I don't see, have they opened up the center runway already? It is almost 11. Indigo will probably go to the wrong runway. But at least we'll be able to see it from here. Hey Henk, goedemorgen. Welcome back, mate. Right, next up, Norwegian in the UNICEF livery. Arriving from Stockholm. Let's have a look at it. 1 hour and 49 minutes on the way. I think that the last, was it KLM arriving from Stockholm also had the same flight duration. So that seems very consistent. Swedish registered SERXA Romeo X-Ray Alpha. And that's a 16-year-old specimen. First flight of this airplane was in February 2010. Nicky asks, kan ik eens Nederlands praten? Bij deze. And Marissa says it's opening, referring to the centered runway. Maybe they still had some stuff to do, and that's why they've put some airplanes in a holding. Not sure. You'd think it's not that busy, but... Right, UNICEF for every child. What's that? Oh, that's Norwegian.com. Thought I saw a strip of text, which triggered my curiosity. Hey Wietse, goedemorgen. And center will be opening soon. Cool. Mr. Botski Bot, good morning. Josiah asks, are you going live on Friday morning? The plan is to go live, but it will depend on the weather, as always is the case. Right now it was looking like the rain will have passed in the early morning, so that I can start at a normal time. It might be that it's still a bit wet in the early morning. Might be that I have to begin a little later than normally would have been the case. But it should get dry in the early morning in the west already, and it should stay dry for a couple of hours at least after that. So I am planning on going live tomorrow, but it's always with the reservation, weather permitting. Hey Bas, goedemorgen. Last sips of vodka. No coffee. Then we'll head for the vodka. Reach for the vodka. This is an Embraer 175 KLM flight 1076, arriving from Bristol. Another one of those Embraer 175s behind it. 1070 arriving from Southampton, also KLM. All right. I've yet to see a first officer with a hand on the edge of the control panel. Thus far, we haven't seen them. Or at least we haven't seen them doing that. Let's see, Lance is writing in the 1960s, BOAC had a Bristol Britannia with registration ending in NBG. No bloody good, it broke down all the time, so they changed the registration. True story. Alright, well, I thought I heard something left of me, and a guy just went into the land here. I'm not sure if that's the farmer or if that's somebody who has something to do with the waterworks. He is wearing gloves and boots, wellies, and also hearing protection. Begs the question, what is he going to do? At least he doesn't carry a gun, so it's not a hunter. Ah, not yet ready to land. All right, well, that might well be the case, Marissa. As long as everything is now in order and they're continuing to Schiphol, that's the most important thing. Right. In the meantime, a very good morning to everybody who's joined. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're here at Polderbaan, where things are starting to get a bit more windy and cloudy. It's going to stay dry though. The wind is blowing from the south mostly. Little bit of crosswind component. The wind is blowing south-southwesterly. In other words, it's mostly headwind for the airplanes landing here, with a smidge of side wind, crosswind. One Boeing 747 already landed here. It was a bonus queen arriving from Paris. Cathay Cargo, very first arrival of the show. So if you missed that, go back to the first 5 minutes at a point in time when it's quiet or after the stream, and you can watch that landing. 3 more 747s are underway. One from Miami, two from Miami, one from Nairobi, and a A340 600 is also underway. Now look in the bottom left, there's the first queen already. In the meantime, Ryanair here in the foreground, arriving from Dublin, Ireland. Cargolux is the first queen, and Surinam is still flying towards Schiphol. On paper it should be a bit west of me, where the sky is still relatively open. I'm looking to see if I can catch a glimpse of the Surinam A340, but I think, yeah, it's going to be really hard to see. Let's focus on the business at hand. Ryanair, flight 420, arriving from Dublin, Ireland, here in the foreground. 737-800, flight time 1 hour and 9 minutes. 7-year-old airplane, first flight November 2018. And since we've crossed through 300 likes, thank you all so much for that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to hear you guys are enjoying the show. I, for one, am having a great time here as well. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel, help us grow, and you are enjoying what you've been seeing so far, leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribing and sharing with a friend also helps tremendously. Goedemorgen. Ryanair is touching down here. Now, that's all well and good. Let's focus on the next arrival here. That's Cargolux. No flight number, just a call sign, 86 November. Arrival from Miami, Florida. 7 hours and 41 minutes underway. It is a Boeing 747-8 freighter. It's arriving from Miami, and it's the last 3 letters of its registration are VCE. Miami Vice is coming. The Miami LX Vice. No, seriously, it's LX VCE Victor Charlie Echo. 13 years old, first flight May 2012. And stick around. The Surinam A340 is downwind and is landing here probably in 10 minutes or so from now, if not less. And 2 more 747s underway after this. Another one from Miami and one from Nairobi. First up, the Cargolux, second queen of the show. The first queen landed here in the first minutes of the show. It was the very first arrival of today's show. So if you missed that, go back to the beginning. Easy find, no need to scroll or look for it. And this is the second queen of the show. Will it get loud? We're going to find out in a minute. Let's listen and look. Definitely could have been worse. And in the meantime, a very good morning to RDW and Martin. I was about to say Malky, but Malky was already here. Hope you guys are enjoying this landing. Second queen of the show, 2 more are arriving later today. In a few minutes from now, the next squad member will be a Surinam A340-600, arriving from Paramaribo in Suriname. Parallel arrivals also have begun in the meantime. Center runway open from 11 until 11:40 approximately. That's usually the case. Means that everything arriving from the east is now going to the center runway. One of those airplanes, Indigo, an Indigo Dreamliner, now second to arrive here on the center runway, being preceded by Transavia arriving from Innsbruck. Next up, KLM flight 982 arriving from London City. That's an Embraer 190, and behind it, flying parallel to the Indigo Dreamliner, is KLM flight 1030 arriving from Persenchester. Third arrival, now on the glide slope already, is the A340. Third squad member of the show, 305. 4 queens, 1 A340, and unfortunately yet still 0 A380s. Windsock in the foreground. You can see it's getting more excited. This morning we began the show with 15 knots of wind, and now looking in the ticker it says 17 knots of wind with gusts up to 27, so the wind speed is picking up as was expected. Cargolux is making its way over to the cargo apron, which is adjacent to the Cargolux, runway 0624. And this is KLM flight 982 arriving from London City. Look in the back and you can see the Indigo Dreamliner. Indigo flight 21 arrived from Mumbai in India. Ah, there goes the hand. But that was just to switch something or turn a knob that wasn't resting on the edge as we often see them do. Indigo flight 21 arriving from Mumbai in India is now flying to the center runway. It's 11 hours and 32 minutes on the way. Did a lap of holding above Lelystad, or Flevoland more properly. I think the holding area is over the Noordoostpolder, isn't it? Technically speaking. This Dreamliner is Norwegian. It's operated by Norse. The Lima November Romeo. 8 years old already. First flight was in July 2017. Right. KLM is touching down, and next to land on the Polderbaan is going to be the A340-600 from Surinam. One last look on the Indigo Dreamliner before we're turning the camera back to the north. And have a look at our next quad squad member. There it is, the Douse, the Delta Alpha Uniform Sierra Zulu. A340-600, 8 hours and 31 minutes underway from the capital of Suriname, Paramaribo, to the capital of the Netherlands, Amsterdam. The airplane is 22 years old. Its first flight was in December 2003. Also, I'm hearing stuff overhead, and it looks like a twin jet just passed me by en route to the Americas. Originating from Germany by the looks of it, south east to northwest. Grumpy 777 freighter lined up on runway 24 will probably turn over me. Wolfgang indicates. Thanks for the heads up, mate. Let's see if we can film that after this will have landed. Good morning, Grand Tulipan. And welcome to the show, everybody else who may have joined. You're still watching AMS Live. My name is Boy, and this is the Douse, the A340-600 from Suriname. It's the third quad-engined airplane of the show landing here. The very first airplane of the show was the first 747. The second 747 landed less than 10 minutes ago, and there are 2 more 747s still underway. Probably here in half an hour or so from now. One from Nairobi and another one from Miami. Let's look and listen. The A340. Not going around, sadly, this time. What a spectacular go-around that was when it happened here. Reversers being deployed there. No mistaking that. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I spy with my little eye Donald and Daisy here in the foreground. You could already see that there was a bird control vehicle in the distance, and you can also see that there's no traffic on the on the glide slope to the Polderbaan right now. That's because they're taking this moment to do a runway inspection, and shots fired. You see it here live happening. You see it here first, and you can also see physics in action. The difference between the speed of sound and the speed of light. The ducks are back. The ducks are back. Donald is here to stay. Can't remember the last time we were here at the Polderbaan when we saw so many of the so much of the ducks already so early on in the stream. And the Grumpy Triple is turning left, so that's not coming this way. At least thanks for the heads up, Wolfgang, and keeping an eye out for it. So there's a runway inspection in progress right now, while the A340 is taxiing back to the main platform area. Parallel arrivals are in progress, and after the inspection taking place on the Polderbaan is done, things are going to resume over here. One, 2, 3, 4. That's about a kilometer further south. Donald is very loud today. Quack.
Quack, quack. Quack, quack.
What's that I'm hearing?
Quack, quack.
You can see him think?
Quack, quack.
Nah, he's probably not even hearing this. Right, Marissa says that KLM flight 1174 is already coming to the Polderbaan again, so it's a short-lived break. K4 on duty and vacating the runway already. Pilots probably reported the presence of birds on the south side of the runway, so they're apparently doing a specific check over there. Not the entire runway. We can see the Cargolux in the distance. Oh, I spoke too soon. I always speak too soon. What's this? That's a 76 from United. .76 from United, outbound. See people saying goodbye to Jackie. Jackie apparently has to go. See you later, Jackie. Thanks for stopping by, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. One of the airplanes that normally would have landed here, but now is going to the wrong runway, is KLM flight 767, arriving from Bonaire. That's an A330-200, 8 hours and 43 minutes on the way. The Papa Hotel Alpha Oscar Foxtrot, the FWOF. As in, what the FWOF is going on here? It's 19 years old, first flight November 2006. It's going to the wrong runway.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
Good morning to Timmy, good morning to Veronique, and a very good morning to Sarah Deal. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you joined us only just now, you may have missed a couple of interesting airplanes already. The very first airplane of this show was a bonus queen arriving from Paris, Cathay Cargo. That's the first landing, first few minutes, so go back to the beginning of the stream to see that. And in the last 15 or so minutes, a second 747 landed here, as did the A340 from Surinam, the 600. 2 more queens are underway, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, they should be arriving here in 20 or so minutes from now. One from Miami, one from Nairobi. I was looking up. Wolfgang is indicating that there's an overhead traffic approaching. Lufty 74, southeast and northwest. I do see it approaching. It's going to pass south of me. It's right now pretty much in the vicinity of the sun, doing an Air Icarus. Still has to continue a bit further for us to see. You can see the contrail, and Icarus has just passed the sun. The 7.4 is casting a shade on the clouds that are below it, as you can see. Nice visual effect. So this airplane is flying above the clouds it's casting a shade on. And that's a Lufthansa 747. Passing close to my zenith, but a little south of it. Zooming out, seemingly blue sky, but there is a bit of haziness. And that's lower than where the airplane is flying, otherwise it wouldn't have cast a shadow on it. So a nice way to deduce what is higher than what. Generally speaking, now looking to the west, things look open again, unlike an hour ago. Also, looking to the north, at the horizon, the glide slope is still impaired by clouds, but I think it might open up again pretty soon. This is what the current status quo is when looking to the east right now. This is looking to the south, and you can see the cloud streets and also the direction of the high clouds. This is where more or less the wind is coming from. We shouldn't be getting any rain here today, but we are going to get some more cloudiness later in the day. Right now it's looking open in the direction of the wind, and it's actually looking like it might open up more than it has been in the last hour, at least west of us. So that's good. Hopefully the glide slope visibility will improve as well. In the very beginning of the show that was really good, and now with the clouds in the way, a bit less so. A couple of cyclists. Right, this is KLM flight 1174, arriving from Stavanger, Embraer 175. In the meantime, I see that our moderator Paul is also back in the chat. Good to see you, Mr. Biker. Hope all is well. Well, for those of you who joined only just now, quite a few interesting airplanes that you have missed already. The very first airplane of the show, a 747. And 15 or so minutes ago, the A340-600 landed here. 2 airplanes or 3 airplanes prior to that, the second 747. There are 2 more 747s underway. Let's have a quick look on Flight Radar to see where those are at in the sky right now. Well, there you go. Cargolux, arriving from Nairobi in Kenya, is approaching Belgian airspace and is expected here 25 minutes from now, 11:44. Atlas, ETA 11:48. So earlier the ETAs were very similar, now 4 minutes apart. So back-to-back landings, probably not in the making, but you never know. Quick look at the visualization of the METAR. For those of you who don't know how to read what you're seeing in the ticker right now. It says here the date and time of the report. It's the 12th, and the report is from 9:55 Zulu time. The wind is blowing from 200 degrees, that's this arrow right here, and it has a speed of 17 knots with gusts reaching up to 27 knots. You can see that over here as well. The wind speed, the wind direction is variable between 160 degrees and 220 degrees. Those are the two arrows over here. The gusts are indicated over here. Normally there should also be an arrow over here indicating the 17. Then the clouds. First visibility 10 plus kilometers, that's at ground level. There are cloud layers at 1300 feet, few clouds, and a bit higher scattered clouds at 4200 feet. The current air temperature 10 degrees Celsius, the dew point is 6 degrees Celsius, the air pressure is 1017 hectopascals, and there are no significant changes expected in the upcoming 2 hours. So that's the current status quo. 2 more 747s are underway, and they are here within half an hour if all is well. Definitely a nice way to ease into the weekend this Thursday. I am enjoying this day greatly, and I hope you guys are too. Don't forget to leave a like if you want to help this channel grow and you are enjoying what you've been seeing thus far. It's back to Narrowbody's rush hour with KLM landing here from Glasgow, an Embraer and another Embraer to the center runway. It's 11:21, so we're midway through the 40-minute stint of parallel arrivals. Wietse says that Central will be closing again soon. Zometeen. That's indicating pretty soon. Probably in 20 minutes from now, isn't it? It's usually from 11 until 11:40 that we have 2 runways open for arrivals, but it would be nice if it happened earlier already. Hey, good morning to Jen Russick as well, mate. Nice to see you again. Hope all is well. Hey, Bird Control K4 is stopping right on the other side, or almost coming to a complete standstill. And throttling up again. Okay. I thought, is he going to prepare himself for a drag race with the next airplane arriving? Hey, Jin is also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Welcome back. It's 737s for the time being. This is a 737-800 from KLM arriving from Birmingham. Behind it, to the center runway, a 737-900 arriving from Berlin, which is over there. And after this, to the Polderbaan, a MAX 8 737 Icelandair arriving from Reykjavik. There it is. As you can see, despite the severity of the wind, the airplanes aren't crabbing that much. And that's because most of the wind is headwind, only a slight crosswind component in the current wind. Still, you never know. I don't think that the wind is expected to change direction that much. But with the current wind speeds, if only it gets a little bit more westerly, you'll start to see significantly more cross-angled approaches, in other words, crabbing. KLM flight 1230 from Gothenburg, last plane for center, now above Horn, Marissa says. Thank you for the update, Marissa. So that means that indeed the center runway is going to close a bit earlier than 11:40 already. That's good news, means that from then on until 1 o'clock, everything arriving here at Schiphol will be landing on the Polderbaan, if all is well. Chris Koot is celebrating. Yeah! Where is he? There he is. What a trooper, doing morning cardio against the direction of the wind. Oh, and that's another Koot. Where are they? There they are. Thought for a moment the one was approaching the other a bit aggressively, but looks like they are friends. MAX 8, 737, KLM, no, not KLM, Icelandic KLM, Icelandair, flight 506, arriving from Reykjavik in Iceland. Cabin cabin in the back. Hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed last Friday's show. We had a special guest. What until recently was our longest standing member, now number 3, overtaken by Rick and Rudolph. Captain Jerry Donnelly from Portland, Oregon, visiting Europe. First country to visit, the Netherlands. And what did he do while visiting the Netherlands, coming over to do plane spotting here at the Polderbaan? In hindsight, he chose the best day. Saturday and Sunday, no streams from me due to the mist that ensued after Friday. But what a great guest he was, wasn't he? Great stories to tell. It lasted too briefly, in my opinion. If you didn't see that stream, definitely worthwhile looking back. Last Friday's stream. Next up, KLM flight 954 arrived from Newcastle, and after that an A321 from Iberia arriving from Madrid. Slowly but surely the wind is picking up, and I am noticing that with the new tripod and still using the guy wires into the ground, it's heavier, it's sturdier. I've also got more higher drag settings that I can set the tripod head to. Things look so much more stable, and that's even without needing to resort to using image stabilizer. Wasn't the cheapest thing to buy, but it definitely is thus far proving its worth, its value. That and the blimp are two very have proven to be two very valuable upgrades for both good audio and stable footage. Memorable stream indeed, Wolfgang. Indeed it was. I think so too. The German Airways BA KLM airplane. And there is a Beach King Air 260. Didal is the registration. D-I-D-A-L. Is flying over Amsterdam towards the Oostbaan, runway 22. That's a very tiny airplane. On paper, I think, if I know where I need to point the camera, I should be able to see it from here. I'm going to keep an eye out for it, but I'm not going to spend all my time trying to find it because it's not that interesting in itself, but it would be nice if we are able to see a glimpse of it. In the meantime, a very good morning to everybody who's joined. Peter Flight Devil also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Welcome to everybody else. If you're new to the channel, don't be afraid to say hi in the chat. It isn't mandatory, but it is always appreciated. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Many are watching. Together they know a lot. And there's no such thing as a stupid question, so feel free to chime in. You will have to be a subscriber for at least 5 minutes to be interacting with us in the chat. And that's just a hurdle against spammers. A similar hurdle is for participating and posting stuff in our community section. If you are a subscriber and have been for a week and you have interesting pictures to share with us, the community section of AMS Live is the place to do it. Have a look if you haven't already. Quite a few people have already posted very interesting pictures there. And feel free to chime in if you have something interesting to share. Meanwhile, the Cargolux has been confirmed for the Polderbaan. That's good news. That is the one I was not too sure about beforehand, because earlier its ETA was before 11:40, so that could also, in theory, make it a candidate for the center runway. Now with the current time and the current runway use, and also coming in via the southwest of the country, what the fudge is happening? Shots fired. That's bird control, K4. Almost jumped into the water. That's what happens if they fire the shots from behind you. Right. He says, good, my job here is done. Now I'm going to torment the next live streamer that I see. It's an A220. It's a Bombardier C-Series 300. Air France flight 1500. Arriving from Paris, 49 minutes of flight time. 3-year-old airplane, first flight October 2022, and it's the Fahazem. Foxtrot Hotel Zulu, uniform Mike Fahazem. How do things look like? What do things look like in the cockpit? Calm and relaxed. Bienvenue à Pays-Bas. Dans la Pays-Bas. Je ne sais pas. Paul, you tried studying French, right? Is it bienvenue dans le Pays-Bas, or is it in le Pays-Bas, or you should know by now. I hope. Dominique, Storm Eagle, good morning. Is it still, lads? Welcome back to the channel. Supporter 777 lined up for runway 24 as next departure, Wolfgang says. Thanks for the heads up, mate. This is an Embraer 175 arriving from Brussels. Looking behind me, don't see the triple taking off just yet. The triple is probably going to do a... well, it usually does a right-hand turn and would come this way and pass by overhead west of us, normally speaking. Rolling. Keeping an eye out for it behind me. Merci Davy, dans la Pays-Bas. Merci beaucoup. À bientôt. Au revoir. Vin rouge. Omelette du fromage. Hey, that's good news. Atlas 747 also confirmed for the Polderbaan. Polderbaan Fest. The Embraer 175 arriving from Brussels has landed. This is Superna, isn't it? I think it is. Yep, that's definitely Superna. And is it going to the left? I think it's... yes, well... yeah, it's initiating a real turn. That's not just a correction due to the route of the standard instrument departure. Because shortly after taking off from runway 24, all the airplanes do have to make a slight left-hand correction. That's due to noise abatement regulations, so that they don't go over habited places too low. But that is initiating a left-hand turn and is taking the same route as that other Chinese triple did. Well, gotta be in it to win it. At least we followed it and we had a look. What? What? What's that I'm hearing? You can see him think. Yeah? Oh, he got cross. Must have insulted him. Looking at the scale of chimney smoke, you can see that the horizontality is increasing. Paul ne sait pas. Il est désolé. It's alright, Paul. We have Davy. He's from Belgium, and Belgians know French really well on average. I've only had 2 years of French in middle school, and a lot of that I've already forgotten. Same for German, also 2 years, but at least German I got to practice a bit more regularly due to the vacations I took to German-speaking countries. But yeah, use it or lose it. That's a general rule in life. Pertains to bodily functions like cognition, physical strength. This channel is just quackers. Indeed it is, mate. Indeed it is. Meanwhile, Dutch Laura, good morning and welcome to the show, everybody else. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're here at Polderbaan where the wind is picking up. It's mostly headwind from the south, slight westerly component in the wind, but the airplanes aren't crabbing nearly as much as when the wind would have been directly from the southwest, let alone west. If it had been from the west with these speeds, they would have probably opened up runway 27 due to the crosswind component, but as secondary runway probably. They probably still keep this one open, at least with the current winds, maybe later in the day. It's unclear yet to what strength the wind is going to pick up. It was expected to increase until the early afternoon and then would stay relatively high until at least the evening is what I saw. Overnight we're expecting an area of rain. It should pass overnight and the early morning. And the west of the country, at least when I had a look this morning, should be in the clear again come regular streaming hours for me. So with a little bit of luck, we can stream normal hours tomorrow, or maybe start a slight bit later. My English is failing. I need some vodka stat. Just a small glass. Keep things flowing. All right. So we're back at just one runway for inbound traffic. And we're awaiting two 747s that are relatively close by. They have been assigned to the Polderbaan, both of them already. Davey says we learned French from the age of 10 in Flanders. Yep. And much longer than we do in the Netherlands. At least in the time I went to middle school, it was a mandatory course in the first 2 or 3 years or so. Maybe I've had it for 3 years. I think it's probably been the first 3 years in middle school. Then the last 3 we could opt to ditch it. Choose a profile in which you would do your final exams. In my time I could still choose the subjects individually instead of having profiles with set a fixed set of courses that you need to follow. Windmills are generating wind power in the background, as you can see. Or are they the cause of the wind? That might also still be possible. Makes you think, doesn't it? Alright, it seems that we've crossed through 400 likes. Thank you all so much for that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. If you want to help us reach a wider audience, if you want to help this channel grow and you haven't done so already, but you are enjoying what you're seeing, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and tell a friend about AMS Live if they're into aviation. 2 airplanes on the glide slope, KLM Flight 924 in the foreground, arriving from Scotland. In fact, it's arriving from Edinburgh. Behind it is a Transavia A321neo arriving from Hurghada, and that is in Egypt. Wonder if this is a regular vacation flight or if these are also people relocating, getting relocated back to the Netherlands. From what I've heard, the Dutch government was evacuating people from the Middle East, and I thought I heard that they were taking them to Egypt, but maybe I misheard. Either way, the Emirates A380 still isn't flying. Not surprisingly, of course, but disappointingly. Let's see, the Cargolux 747 is on the downwind, flying behind me on the west of me. On paper, you'd think we would be able to see it if only we know exactly where to point the camera. It's in the vicinity of Haarlem, so I'm thinking it should be over there somewhere. Provided we are able to see it from here, but looking at the sky, I think we ought to. That's the thing, it's looking for a needle in a haystack often, and unless you're really lucky and you're immediately able to see the airplane you're looking for, you're sometimes looking for it so long that it already passed by and it's probably already a bit further that way now. And I still haven't sighted it. Yeah, no. Cargolux is coming, but not yet have I been able to film it. Shall be a bit easier if it's on the glide slope, because then at least we'll know where we need to point the camera. This is Transavia flight 7552, arriving from Hurghada in Egypt. Flight time has been 5 hours and 11 minutes. It's an A321neo. The Papa Hotel Yankee Hotel Alpha, which is the first A321neo belonging to Transavia themselves. The Alpha at the end of the registration indicating this one is owned by Transavia and not leased. ITA, the first ITA of the show. We already saw the wannabe ITA from JetBlue, but now we're going to get the real ITA. I'm also hearing something with a propeller. That's not the Coast Guard already, is it? Where? Come on. Come on. There it is. What's this? Oh no! It's a Pilates. Right. There you go. Hey, it's one of our longest standing members. Hold short, not often in the chat, but always a pleasure when you do come back and celebrate your long standing membership for once. Feel free to hop into the live chat more regularly, mate. Hold short, definitely one of our longest standing members, but you don't always see him. Pleasure to see you again, mate. And he is celebrating 35 months of membership. Morning, just 1 month left to change color. That's right. Hold short, thank you so much for your long-lasting support. I hope that the lounge is still very much to your liking, and if it isn't, do let me know what needs to be improved in your opinion, and let me see what I can do to make it better. It's a hoe. It's I-ho. What a beautiful hoe this is, isn't it? Silvio Berlusconi knew best. Italian hoes are the best. Ho ho ho, what a beautiful hoe this is. Anyway, hold short, mate. Thank you so much for your long-lasting support. Congratulations on 35 months. Looking forward to seeing you with a new badge in a month from now. It's a shame we don't see you in our live chat so often. I'm sure you're watching still, but feel free to partake and let yourself be heard every now and then. Don't be afraid. We're not biting. You should know that by now. Congratulations, hold short, and thank you so much for your long-lasting support. That's 1 month shy of 3 years of membership. Incredible. Never thought we'd see the day that we were actually going to start using those 3-year badges, but pretty soon we are. Hold short, I think, is in the top 10 of longest standing members. And it was for a long time Captain Jerry, but when I looked the other day, I saw that he probably must have forgotten to renew automatically for a few days, because now he is number 3 and he has been overtaken. It's now Rick Meester and Officer Rulof who are members number 1 and 2. And this is K-Lift at 622, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, 78710, with a nice carrying cabin in the middle. And indeed, Wolfgang, Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-ho. Right, the Dreamliner vacating the runway, making room for Icelandair to land next. Flight 500, another MAX 8. Arriving from Reykjavik in Iceland. Russell Crowe has also arrived, and he is sitting on his throne overlooking his minions. Or is this Rudolph Raven? You guys tell me. For me, it's hard to keep them apart. They're all black, they all have similar looking noses to me. Of course, one is bigger than the other. Is this a Raven or is it a crow? It is a beautiful bird, that's for sure. All right. Twist, twist, twist. Focus set to infinity. There you go. And apparently the Embraer 190 from KLM is going to be sandwiched between two 747s. That's nice. Next after this will be the first 747 of the 2 remaining. There it is already. Cargolux arriving from Nairobi in Kenya. CV492, flight number 492, operated by Cargolux Italia, arriving from Nairobi, which is the capital of Kenya, which is a country in Africa. A crow, a raven, a crow raven. Right. Whatever it is, it's no longer sitting on the lantern and is now walking in the grass a little bit towards me. Icelandair using the reverse approach there. Cargolux flight 492 arriving from Nairobi in Kenya. 9 hours and a minute underway. It's the Lima X-Ray Whiskey Charlie Victor. Overhead traffic, that's the CRJ outbound. Flying through the clouds. There are a few low clouds. And the CRJ is flying between them. This 747 is 18 years old, ladies and gentlemen. First flight was July 2007. Embraer 190 behind it, and behind that should be another 747. Really hard to see further up ahead. This is the Embraer, and usually at the 7 o'clock. Alright, there it is. There's the next 747. So there's one 747, and here's the other. Roughly at the same altitude. Alright, let's look and listen. Hopefully this one will get loud. Fingers crossed. vortex going into the engine as it was spooling up. Moisture, low pressure, a mini tornado if you will. That was because the airplane spooled up its reverses, in case you didn't notice. Holy shizzle, that was loud. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Now, don't go away because there's more coming. Another 747 is now number 2 to arrive. Atlas Air arriving from Miami, Florida. That's a 747-400. And to cleanse the palette, we're now going to get an Embraer 190 from KLM, arriving from Teesside or Darlington. Hey Pate, what up mate? Hope you were in time to see this queen land and hear her. Third queen of the show, fourth quad-engined airplane landing here on the Polderbaan today. 3 queens and 1 A340-600. Fourth queen, fifth squad member will be landing in a few minutes from now. Her Majesty is turning in. The Embraer 190 is approaching. And Peter is tuning in from Johannesburg in South Africa. Welcome to the show, one and all. After the 747, we're going to get American Airlines Flight 204 arriving from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 7878 Dreamliner, and KLM Flight 706, which is returning from Rio de Janeiro, 777-200. I think there's finally a widebody overhead. Is it a Chinese triple? I think it is. Chinese triple overhead. Alright, let's prepare for the fourth and final 747 of today's show. Atlas Air, flight 5528, arriving from Miami, Florida. Look at look at the time it has flown to get here, 7 hours and 48 minutes. It's a 744, flight time 748. It's the November 439 Gin Tonic, 24 years old, first flight March 2002. Now, is this one also going to get as loud as the previous one did? Let's look and listen. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Last two 747s, both of them getting really loud here. Hope you guys were enjoying that as well. Her Majesty has landed, the fourth Queen and fifth quad squad member. Has Atlas overtaken the Embraer, I wonder? Hard to see from here. Nah. That's still ahead. Next up will be 2 wide bodies landing here on the Polderbaan. American Airlines Flight 204 arriving from Philadelphia and KLM Flight 706 arriving from Rio de Janeiro behind it. Dreamliner and a 777-200. No image stabilizer enabled, and I'm quite positively surprised by how stable the footage is. No need to enable image stabilizer. I think with today's conditions and with the previous tripod, I definitely would have had a lot of vibrations. Much more stable imaging platform. And this is American. American not even getting that loud. Unlike the 747s. Subdued, actually, more rather. And you're right, Michael, not a lot of AA into AMS. Think it's only American Airlines arriving from Philadelphia that we see here. Or are there more flights? I think it's only Philadelphia that they are... from Philadelphia to Amsterdam that they're flying. To my knowledge. Viagra, slowly but surely, more and more in the sky here. Another custom emoji for you guys to use if you remember. Hey Gertin, goedemorgen, good to see you again and welcome. Hope you were in time to see the 2 747s that landed here a couple of minutes ago. This is KLM Flight 706 arriving from Rio de Janeiro, which is not in Africa, but in Latin America, where you can also find a country called flight time 10 hours and 53 minutes, 777-200 the Papa Hotel, Bravo Quebec, Charlie. First flight was in November 2003, making this specimen 22 years old already. The slots open, but the engines aren't spooling up. In other words, this is an idle reverse landing. Looking at the flap surfaces, quick inspection, looks pretty decent. That's almost always the case for the KLM wide bodies. On the left outer flap, things also look good. Marissa is announcing her departure. She has to go again. Thank you so much for joining us today, Marissa, and hopefully see you again later in the weekend. Right, let's see, a couple of narrow bodies for the time being, and the next wide body is already flying base, more or less, if you can call it that, north of Schiphol, around Alkmaar, and before it 4 narrow bodies. Here we go, 4 narrow bodies from KLM, all of them. 2 Embraer 175s, this is the first one, then we'll get an A321neo, then an Embraer 175, then an Embraer 190, and then another KLM, but that would be the 777-300 from Sao Paulo. Marissa mistakenly tagging herself instead of Maria when she was announcing she was going to leave. Think somebody is in need of a sip of AMS Live vodka. That will improve your sharpness. Then again, a bit of silliness is always nice. Good for the spirits. Thought that the first officer was making eye contact, so I waved to him, but didn't get a response, so maybe it was just my vanity wanting him to look to me, recognize me, acknowledge my existence. Paul also has to go, can't handle so many queens. Well, this is it for the time being, mate. There are more underway. I think there was also one underway expected around 3:30, but I'm not going to stick around for such a long period of time. In fact, I'm wondering what would be a good time to wrap up here, because Narrowbody's o'clock pretty soon. Maria also has to go. Thank you so much, Maria, for stopping by again, and sleep well. Hopefully see you again tomorrow. Hopefully the weather will allow me to go out. Could be that I might be a bit later than normal, depending on how quickly the rain will pass away, assuming it is going to get dry in the early morning. This is KLM Flight 1004, A321neo, arriving from London Heathrow. Thanks, K. Oh yeah, and of course, it's arriving from London. You may be wondering, London? Yes.
You know, fish, chips, cup of tea, bad food, worse weather, Mary fucking Poppins, London.
Oh, I heard the screech of Harry Heron. Typical screeching sound, really easy to recognize. Once you've heard that before, you'll immediately know it's a heron in the vicinity when you hear it again. It's a very sharp, scratching, screeching sound. Hey, John Logan is also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Mate, if you only joined us just now, you have missed 5 quad-engined airplanes landing here on the Polderbaan, all of them already. The very first 747 of the show landed as very first airplane here in the first few minutes. After that, we had 2 duos, relatively shortly after one another. One 747 and a Surinam A340, and a couple of minutes ago, 2 747s. John Logan is celebrating 6 months of membership. He has turned yellow. Yay, made it for half a year. Many more to go. Mate, congratulations and thank you so much for your support thus far. Half a year in the lounge, and I hope it has been to your liking. And if it hasn't been or not completely to your satisfaction, do let me know what you feel should be improved, and let me see what I can do to make it better for you and all the other members. Thank you so much, John, for your support thus far. And congratulations. The next widebody is approaching. With the wind and the temperature, my nose is also a bit runny, and I think I sound a little full. So what I am going to do is quickly invite the Schiphol elephant in the room. Just quickly, that was the Schiphol elephant, and I should sound a little less stuffy right now. 2 widebodies on the glide slope, both of them slightly crabbing, not very substantially, but the wind is blowing mostly from the south and not so much from west to east, so the crosswind component today is very minimal. It's also why I'm not expecting any go-arounds, and why we haven't seen any yet. The airplanes are landing into crosswind, means that they'll land with lower ground speeds than normal. Embraer 190, KLM Flight 972 on the right, arriving from Humberside. KLM flight 792 arriving from Rio. No, Sao Paulo. No? Rio. No? Sao Paulo. Yeah. GRU. Hey, and a concrete truck in the background. Or think that normally carries concrete. It's only concrete that they need to spin around to prevent it from hardening, isn't it? Or are there other building materials that they also need to spin around to keep from drying out, hardening? In the meantime, a very good morning to everybody who has joined. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're here at the Polderbaan. Next 777-300 already coming. KLM flight 792 arriving from Sao Paulo. And that's in Brazil. And that's a country in Latin America right next to Ecuador. Geographically speaking, it's geographically in the vicinity, of course. Nominally, for us, still pretty far away. It's BHBVK, Bravo Victor Kilo, 12 years old, first flight May 2013. Flight time 10 hours and 45 minutes. Next airplane after this, you might want to skip, if you are gluten intolerant that is, because it might invoke some cramps. It's a certain EasyJet A319. Just a heads up trigger warning. Hey Ricardo, goedemiddag. And welcome to the show, everybody else. Paul says, I think just concrete, but I could be wrong. And I often am. Same here, mate. Same here. Yeah, to my knowledge, it's only concrete that needs to be spun around to prevent it from hardening. But yeah, if anybody knows better, by all means chime in. Feel free to chime in the chat, regardless of whether you have an answer to this question or not. It's always appreciated if people interact with the others in the chat. It's not mandatory, but it is always appreciated. If you're new to the channel, don't be afraid to say hi. That too is facultative and not mandatory. Fidel Castro is over here hunting for Pinky and the Brain. One's a genius, the other's insane. They're laboratory mice. Their genes have been spliced. They're Pinky and the Brain. Oh! Every now and then you see an airplane making some slight corrections, banking shortly before the touchdown. The touchdown. But none of them have ever gotten into real danger, which was such that a go-around was likely. All landings thus far have been very controlled. Ruud, goedemiddag. Polly Vrolijk, goedemiddag. Elise, goedemiddag. Welcome to the show, everybody. Good afternoon to Frank Vermeulen, who is tuning in. Says Maastricht Aachen was also interesting today. A lot of busiest this morning. Hey, nice. And Sarah is super chatting. Hey boy, I'm flying to TF Green Airport PVD to DET, then switching planes to LAX in about 3 weeks. I will be taking my first Delta flight, actually SkyWest to DET, switch to Delta to LAX. Hey, that's nice. PVD and DET, I don't know. I do know LAX. So for me, it was a bit of a riddle to read your message. What are the other airports you're flying to? I understand their airport abbreviations, though I don't recognize which airports those are the abbreviations of. A jet has landed. If you're going to take those flights and you're going to take some interesting pictures, feel free to share them with us in the community section if you feel the need to. We're always looking for interesting pictures. And if you have any of that journey when you are taking it, then by all means feel free to share them with us, Sarah. In the meantime, thank you so much for your super chat. You really didn't have to use a super chat for your message, but thank you so much for doing it anyway. In 2 weeks from now. And then to LAX, are you going to join Kevin? Are you going to co-host? In the meantime, Wolfgang says that there's a 7-4 lined up on runway 24 next departure. Providence, Detroit. PVD, Providence, Rhode Island, Detroit. DET is Detroit, Michigan. That last one makes sense now that I think a bit longer about it. And an A380 is far north. Alkmaar, Wolfgang says, well, mate, this is what the sky towards Alkmaar looks like, so there's nothing to see over there. And if there is a 7-4 on runway 24 on ready to depart, we can have a look at it. Hi. Nathalie, hey, goeiedag, boy. Aangenaam. Ja, leuk, leuk. Wat vind je ervan? Ja, het is vandaag koud met die wind, hè? Natalie has arrived over here saying hi. It's a bit cold, she says, and that's absolutely right. It's not very warm to begin with, and then with the added wind, it's... well, I'm also standing here with my heated, or not with my heated gloves on, but with fingerless gloves on, and also rain pants over my jeans, just to keep the wind out a little. It's either too warm here or it's too cold here. If there's no wind, you'll be sweating your balls off, so to speak, and if it is windy, it can get really chilly really quickly. I noticed that when you're going up the cycling path, that the trees are providing some coverage from the wind, but then you still need to look over the fences if you want to take pictures or see the airplanes properly. That's the downside. Over here you're exposed to the elements, although I think maybe if you stand a bit closer to the excrement bridge, maybe you will stand in the wind shade of the bridge. But here in the open field, it's windy. Oh, and Wolfgang says the 7-4 is fake news, sorry. Mate, what are you doing? Providing us with false information? That's not good. Couple of small planes, indeed. Yeah, we have an Embraer 190 from Aberdeen, KLM flight 912. That's up next. An Embraer 190 arriving from Düsseldorf, flight 1800. This is KLM flight 912 arriving from Aberdeen. It's German Airways flying on behalf of KLM. Flight time 1 hour and 6 minutes. The Delta Alpha Juliet Hotel Whiskey. 20 years old, first flight somewhere in 2006. German Airways operating for KLM City Hopper. Alrighty. Let's see. Anything big coming here soon, I wonder. Zooming out. Let's see, Saudia flight 215 is approaching from Germany. That's probably going to land here before 1 o'clock. I think, looking around, over England, over the Gulf of Yorkshire, over Belgium, France. There's not much coming. A lot of narrow bodies for the time being. Well, Saudia is approaching Dutch airspace, so that will be an interesting, or at least a wide body that is probably going to land here first. Still, let's see. Oh, it's the beige one. It's the old livery. That's not very interesting. But that's, I think, the only one coming for the time being. Alrighty. This airplane definitely is crabbing a little bit more than the average airplane has been doing thus far. The wind is variable. At times it might be a bit more southwesterly. Now it's more, the nose is more aimed towards the runway. All right, 7-4 lined up, 18 left, next departure now. That's the truth, Wolfgang says. Whoa. 747 lined up on runway 18 left. We ought to see it from here. Visibility is good. It's just going to be a silhouette of a 747 due to the lighting and the distance. We're probably not going to be able to see a lot of details on the livery, but still it's worth a try to see how much we can see from here. Hey Gerrit, goedemiddag. Good to see you, mate. So yeah, once again, looking now in the direction of the wind, the south-southwest, a little bit more cloudiness. It was said that later in the day, progressively more clouds would float into the country, and we're going to get some rain overnight, which should have cleared the west of the country the next week, tomorrow morning, I should say. Castle over here in the foreground, there you can see him. And we're still waiting for a 7-4 to emerge from behind the trees and whatnot. Ryanair up next, over here on the Polderbaan, also not too far away. Max 8, 737 arrival from Malaga, flight 2334. Airplane a year old, first flight July 2024. Hey Thijs, goedemiddag. Good to see you, mate. Welcome to the show, everybody else who may have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy, and this is the Polderbaan. It's a windy day today. Wind is gradually picking up. This morning we began with 15 knots of wind, and it has increased to a bit more. It's also gotten a little gusty. No, because of the direction of the wind, we haven't seen any go-arounds yet. It's very much headwind. It's relatively easy to land into compared to a lot of crosswind. Still no sight of a 747. Now it's rolling. Right, well in that case, fingers crossed that we are going to see it. Well, we are going to see it. No need to cross our fingers. Question is, how much detail will we see? It will help a little if the sun is hiding. That usually provides a bit more detail in the livery, but still, From here, 18 left is more or less the runway furthest away from here. All right, well, we're able to see the logo of Cathay Cargo. Is this the airplane that also landed here as very first airplane in the show? Probably must be, unless there are two Cathay Cargos at once at Schiphol Airport. I think this was the first airplane landing here today in today's show in the first 5 minutes of the show, arriving from Paris. Is it now going to Hong Kong or somewhere else? Hey Shani, good afternoon, and everybody else who may have joined. Next arrival here is going to be Shamrock Aer Lingus, flight 604, arriving from Dublin, Ireland. There it is. It's 9 o'clock, you can already see the next airplane that is following. That's an A321 from Transavia, arriving from Valencia. And the third airplane should be turning in. It's looking like the openness that we had in the sky earlier here is now has now also gotten at the location of the glide slope, more or less. I think the sky below the two airplanes is blue, and there's only a bit of cloudiness above where the airplanes are in the sky. That should mean the glide slope visibility is pretty optimal again. No, I'm still struggling to see the third airplane. Oh wait, no, I think I do. Yeah, there it is. Still pretty far away, but it's at the 7 o'clock of the number 2. And if you know that, at least you know where generally to look for the airplane. Since it doesn't have the lights on yet, it's a bit harder to see, but it is visible already. Honda has to go. Thank you so much for joining us, Honda. See you tomorrow. And Edwin, goedemiddag. Good to see you, mate. Philip is cool. Good morning. Next up, Shamrock, flight 604, arriving from Dublin, Ireland. 1 hour and a minute underway. It's EDS, 17 years old, first flight December 2008. I'm also joined here by Natalie, who came over to spot today. Were you in time to see the 747 and the A340 this morning? Oh, okay, only 30 minutes ago did she arrive. Right, so the 747 and the A340 she missed. The two 747s back to back, yeah. The last two, that was... for those she was in time. For those of you who joined us later, you may have missed 4 747s. The very first one arrived here in the first 5 minutes of the show. And then there was a 747 that landed shortly after, or no, it was right before the A340-600 did. I think there was only one airplane in between the two. And then we had two, I think it was also one airplane, one narrowbody, yeah, one Embraer 190 got sandwiched in between. Two 747s, one from Miami and one from Nairobi, that also landed here more or less back to back with just a tiny Embraer 190 sandwiched in between. Oh no! Natalie's phone just died. Always take a fully charged phone to Schiphol if you're going to take pictures or videos. Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, and I also have my sister and my mom. Oh, your sister and your mom are also with you. Well, in that case, I wish you all the best. If you're ever in the vicinity again, by all means, come over and say hi. Expect me to come here much more often. I live literally like 25 minutes away from here. Well, cool. In that case, see you around then. Hey, you have a good one too. Thanks. Take care. Bye-bye. Keen observers among you will notice that this Transavia looks a bit different than what you're used to. It's a subtle update of the livery. The letters are a bit bold, more fat. The engine casings are completely green with the exception of the T of Transavia, and that also applies to the tail. We'll will undoubtedly see another Transavia pretty soon, and if you compare them with what you saw just now, you'll see the difference. It's subtle, just like the deeper smile in the nose of KLM, but it is a new livery. Now, I see that Lot is already over the province of Flevoland, and that means that Saudia, yeah, is in Dutch airspace already. I am assuming that, given it is 12:25 or so, that the Saudia is going to land here on Polderbaan. I don't think there's much more coming in terms of wide-bodied airplanes after the Saudia Dreamliner. Unless I am mistaken. If I am, by all means do tell me what else is out there coming to Schiphol soon. I'm thinking maybe after the Saudia will have landed, it might be a good moment to wrap up and go out again tomorrow. Hey, what's that I'm hearing? Is that Gary Grebe? I'm not seeing any birds here. I was hearing one. Not sure if you guys heard it as well. Something over here in the water, pretty close by. It sounded like, ah yeah, and it was Gary Grebe after all. Wow, so we've seen the Coots, we've seen Gary Grebe, we've seen Donald and Daisy Duck. It is tremendously awesome to see that the birds have returned. Looking forward to seeing much more of them this upcoming spring. Hey Klaartje, goedemiddag. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Polderbaan again tomorrow, having a day off, so might come over. Yeah, probably Polderbaan tomorrow, and I'm trying. If the weather will allow me to, I think I might be going to the Cargolux in the weekend, weather permitting. E2 and Bravo 195 arriving from Bergen. This is KLM flight 1164. Michael DCA said sounded like an Airbus hydraulic pump. That's the sound that Gary Grebe made. It's a very typical sound as well. Not as screechy as the sound of a heron is, but it's definitely a sound you'll recognize once you've connected the dots. If you know that it is a Grebe sound, you'll recognize it. Hans' favorite up next. Haven't seen him yet. He's missing out on a beautiful Vueling coming in from Barcelona next. Flight 8309, A320, 2 hours and 2 minutes underway. 9-year-old airplane already. First flight March 2016. I'm going to drink to the dots. Bottoms up, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, the airplanes are slightly crabbing. Wind has picked up a little. It's mostly from the south still. Jeff says, Cargolux, that means go and watch the return. Yeah, well, I guess so. If the wind doesn't change and they're using the Cargolux for departures, I'll need to stand further away from the runway than when I'm filming arrivals over there. I'm not sure what the wind is going to do, if it's going to change. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of the Cargolux location for departures. It is okay, but because you need to stand further back from the runway, it's hard to look at the apron. You cannot see the big birds getting pushed back or taxiing to their parking place. Their parking spot. when you're filming the arrivals over there, you're standing much closer to the action and you can see much more than when you are standing further away. Indeed, Peter, de hele bende is weer compleet in het water. The whole gang is complete in the water. In reference to having seen the ducks, the coots and a grebe just now. Michael back in the chat. Good morning or good afternoon. Well, good morning for you. George also back in the chat. Good afternoon, mate. Pretty windy here. Still, it's mostly headwind for the airplanes. Now, one of the airplanes was even looking close to having to go around due to the wind. Wind is said to be gusting, but it's not very gusty here where I am standing. Still? Here you have another Transavia in the old livery, where you can see the difference. The font is less bold. And the engines and the tail are mostly white with just the green around the logo of Transavia, the T. It's a subtle difference compared to what we saw on that A321neo, but a difference nonetheless. This is looking in the direction of the wind, and you can see parallel cloud formations, cloud streets. For those of you who don't have a full bingo card just yet. Things should stay dry here today. It is expected to rain overnight, and when I looked this morning at the forecast, the area of rain should have cleared the west of the Netherlands tomorrow morning around my regular streaming hours. So I am optimistic I will be able to do a live stream tomorrow, probably at the normal time, might be a bit later, but if all is well, should be able to go out again tomorrow. Hey, another Peter in the chat tuning in from Curaçao. Hey, thanks for that, Jeff. He'll have a word with ATC. He's going to fix it and make it happen that we're going to see arrivals on the Cargolux in the weekend. Right, what a show it has been thus far. Starting off with a Queen, 3 more, and the A340 600 as well. Would have been a full quad squad bingo card if only Emirates would resume flying to the Netherlands, which to date they still haven't restarted, and understandably so, of course, considering what's going on over there. John Billinghurst is tuning in from the UK, and he's one of our older viewers, 85. Must say, yours has got to be the best channel on YouTube for aviation. Cheers, guy. John, mate, thank you so much for your kind words. I'm very pleased to hear that. There's some stiff competition out there, so your words mean a lot to me. I wish that the YouTube algorithm would be so kind as you guys are with your words. Make this channel a bit bigger than it currently is, but who knows? Maybe if I'll get the chance to consecutively stream for 4 days in a row, a couple of weeks, like I normally plan on doing, but because of weather in the last couple of months, really haven't gotten around to, things would pick up again a bit. Welcome to the channel, John. At least nice of you to say hi. Don't be afraid to say hi if you're new to the channel. It isn't mandatory, but it is always appreciated. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. There's still quite a few people watching, and together they know quite a lot. And there's no such thing as a stupid question. This is another Transavia A321neo. This is in the old livery. Look at the tail, you can already see there's white on it. And the font is not as bold as with that other A321. Having arrived from Barcelona, the trash flight, or at least that's what it always used to be. Now it's the treat flight, TRA3T. It used to be TRA8H, right? Yeah, I think that was the call sign. 8 hotel. No, 8. Yeah, 8 hotel. Which you could read as trash. Right, I think I am going to wrap up for today since there's no more wide bodies coming after the Saudia Dreamliner now flying northeast of Schiphol Airport. So that's going to be the last airplane, and with LOT and BA City Flyer before it, I think these are going to be the last 3 airplanes for today's show. You can see that the cloudiness in the meantime has also arrived in the north once again, although below where the airplane and that cloud is I think the sky still is blue and translucent. So any airplanes that will turn onto the glide slope really far away, we still ought to be able to see from here. Yeah, you're right, Storm Eagle. Yeah, seeing it now, you're right. It would be 5 Hotel. I think it was 5 Hotel, or at least there always was a Transavia 5 Hotel flying around. That was always a flight from Barcelona. Might be that is coming later today or has already arrived earlier. Hey, thank you for the kind words, Buzz, who says, I think there's no big competition, you're simply the best. Well, let's say that you guys are probably the vocal minority, and let's say that there is a silent majority who probably thinks otherwise. But there you go, there's different strokes for different folks. I'm hearing propellers up in the sky. I think that might be the A400 that Storm Eagle is referring to. Yeah, from the south, it does sound like the propellers are from the south. I can already tell you I'm unable to see anything because between the low clouds there is haziness higher up. The haziness has already arrived. I'm not able to see any contrails in the sky, but you're probably able to pick it up on the microphone. That is the A400. Distinct sound. Unfortunately not able to show you guys today. Hey, Richard is also back in the chat. Very good afternoon to you too, buddy. You're a bit late because I am going to wrap up in a few minutes from now, after the Saudia will have landed here. And if you only joined us just now, you have missed 5 Quad Squad members, 4 Queens and the A340-600. The very first airplane of the show was the 747. We had another one that arrived here almost simultaneously with the A340, and then there were 2 more, separated only by an Embraer 190. BA City Flyer, another flight arriving from London City. Penultimate airplane of today's show, a lot to see. There it is. Hey Nigel, good afternoon and welcome back, mate. And Sarah will try to post as much as she can sneak. She will have to be careful at airports due to security. At Boston, you need a permit to take pictures or videos. Mate, are you really... that's... Why so strict? That sounds insane. That was a motorcyclist, a police motorcyclist on the cycling path. I waved, he nodded. Once again, double checking. Oh yeah, well, no. Yeah. There you go. Saudia, flight 215 in the background. Turning final. I am seeing that Turkish flight 1957 has entered the airspace of the Netherlands. It is also 12:40. My guess is that it's probably going to be going to the center runway. Has it already been assigned to center? At Schiphol there's always a lot to see. Polished as always. Turkish flight 1957. Arriving from the east. Has it been assigned to center already? Or is it still coming to the Polderbaan? Center. Thanks for looking that up, Paul. As I expected, so there's no need for me to stick around for that. I'm going to wrap up after this airplane now in view will have landed, and we'll be back hopefully again tomorrow. Like I said, rain is expected in the morning, the early morning mostly. The west should be clear of the rain should clear the west of the country around 8, 9, 10 o'clock. So I'm hoping it's going to be dry at the time I'm normally going out to stream. Might be that I am running a little late. I'll have another look tomorrow and tonight. If things don't change significantly, you can expect me to go out after the rain will have cleared the west. Wow. So still strict after 9/11, Sarah says. Especially terminals B and C. Well, at least there are parking garages that you can get to the top of and stream from. If you go to a parking garage here at Schiphol and you go to the top and you have more than just a tripod and an iPhone, you get sent away immediately. But those are probably not airport property, or are they? Those parking garages. Still looking forward to hopefully a moment in the future when P3 would get accessible again for streamers. Not going to. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but we can dream. To me, it's still one of the best, if not the very best location to be streaming from because of the overview and the closeness to the action. Saudia flight 215, 78710, having arrived from Jeddah, bringing us Jeddah nights. The swords attached on the back. Either reverse landing. Last airplane for today. Should be out again tomorrow. Right, time for me to wrap up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. I had a wonderful time and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Sun in the beginning, a bit more cloudiness later, and also picking up of the wind. 5 quad squad members, 4 queens, the A340-600. What more could we wish for, except for maybe the A380. Hopefully she'll be flying to the Netherlands again soon. Hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. If you enjoyed the show and you want to help this channel grow, leave a like if you haven't already. Looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. For now, a massive big thanks for everybody who joined me here. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for all the support, for all the super chats, the super stickers, the gifted memberships once again, and the people renewing their membership. Thank you all so much, moderators, again, for keeping the chat friendly and accessible. Looking forward to seeing you later in the weekend and tomorrow. For now, I'm going to say goodbye and stay safe and warm. Take care. See you soon.